You've grown up hearing about Rome as the empire of law, discipline, and stoic virtue. You've seen statues of emperors staring into eternity. You've read Marcus Aurelius's meditations about honor and self-control. Rome, we're told, was harsh, but fair. But here's what never made it into your high school textbooks. What happened after Rome won? Not the battles, not the formations, not the strategy. I'm talking about the aftermath. The part where, if cameras had existed, they would have been turned off. Welcome to Hidden Secret Tales, and today we're pulling back the curtain on what Roman victory actually meant, especially if you were a woman who wore a crown. Let me take you to the year 272 CE, just outside the city of Antioch. Queen Zenobia of Palmyra, brilliant, educated, and fearless, has just been defeated by Roman legions under Emperor Aurelian. Her empire, which once stretched from Egypt deep into Anatolia, is finished. Her generals brace themselves for death, a clean end, a soldier's end. That's not what Rome specialized in. Rome had spent centuries perfecting something far more effective than execution. They knew how to break people without killing them. And if you were royalty, especially a queen, the process was even more deliberate. Here's a truth most people never hear about Roman law. Once you were defeated, once your city fell or your army surrendered, you stopped being a person in the eyes of Rome, legally. The Romans had a concept called jus gentium, the law of nations. It sounds civilized, neutral, almost modern. In reality, it meant this: foreign enemies had no rights. You could be beaten, displayed, sold, killed, used. Roman citizens were protected by layers of law. You couldn't publicly punish them without procedure. You couldn't execute them without trial. But foreigners? Nothing. Captured enemies became property of the Roman state or were divided among soldiers like loot, land, gold, artifacts, and yes, people. Crowns didn't matter once the chains went on. Roman historians weren't shy about it. Tacitus, one of Rome's sharpest and most brutally honest writers, documented how defeated leaders were treated. He made it clear that Roman officials felt no hesitation humiliating people who once commanded armies. To Rome, humiliation wasn't excess, it was policy. And if you're already feeling uncomfortable, good, you're supposed to. These are the parts of history that tend to get quietly skipped. If you want more of the stories history prefers not to talk about, consider subscribing to Hidden Secret Tales. We focus on the moments power tried to erase. Because this gets darker. Roman military culture viewed captured women, especially foreign women, as legitimate spoils of war. That applied whether you were a farmer's daughter or a queen. Some elite captives were temporarily housed while Rome decided whether they were worth ransoming. But for most, the line between prisoner of war and slave barely existed at all. And then there was Rome's most chilling invention of all, the triumph. A Roman triumph wasn't just a parade, it was psychological warfare on a citywide scale. When a general won a major campaign, he petitioned the Senate for permission to celebrate. If approved, Rome prepared a spectacle designed to crush the defeated and terrify everyone watching. The route stretched for miles through the heart of the city. Crowds packed every street. Thousands of eyes waited. First came musicians and performers, then massive carts displaying paintings and models of conquered cities, visual proof of domination. then exotic animals dragged from distant lands, and finally, the prisoners. Captured kings, captured generals, captured queens. Here's the twisted part. They were often forced to wear their royal clothing, crowns, jewels, ceremonial robes. Why? Because humiliation works best when the contrast is clear. Look at what she was. Look at what she is now. For defeated queens, the triumph meant hours of slow marching through jeering crowds, every step stripping away dignity, and the entire time they didn't know if they would survive the day. Some didn't. That uncertainty wasn't a flaw in the system. It was the point. Now let's return to Queen Zenobia. 2 years after her capture in 274 CE, Emperor Aurelian celebrated his triumph in Rome. Ancient sources describe Zenobia adorned in jewels so bright they reflected the sunlight. She wasn't dressed to honor her. She was dressed to glorify Rome. And then there were the chains, not iron, gold. Heavy gold chains so massive that attendants had to help support their weight. Her wealth, her power, had been turned into her restraint. Zenobia reportedly walked with composure, refusing to bow, refusing to beg. That composure may have saved her life. Instead of execution, Aurelian spared her. He gave her a villa near Rome. Some accounts suggest she married into Roman society, her children absorbed into the elite. Was that mercy? Or was it a living reminder? A former empress reduced to a dependent, her presence itself a monument to Roman dominance. Historians still debate it. Now let's rewind further to Roman Britain. King Pristatigus of the Iceni dies, leaving a will. He attempts compromise, half his kingdom to Emperor Nero, half to his daughters. He hopes this will preserve peace. It doesn't. Roman officials seize everything: land, wealth, authority. When Queen Boudica protests, Rome responds not with negotiation, but with punishment. Tacitus records what happened next, drawing from first-hand sources. Boudica was publicly beaten. This wasn't random violence. This was calculated humiliation. And then her daughters, young, unmarried, were subjected to abuses so severe that Tacitus himself struggled to describe them. The message was unmistakable. This is what happens when you challenge Rome. But Rome miscalculated. Instead of submission, they created fury. Boudica rallied the tribes of Britain. Roman cities burned, tens of thousands died, Londinium was destroyed. Tacitus records her words before battle. She wasn't fighting as a queen defending territory. She was fighting as a woman avenging her body and her children. The rebellion was eventually crushed. Boudica, refusing to become a Roman trophy, chose death on her own terms. Her daughters vanish from history. Silence swallowed their names. As triumphs moved toward the Capitoline Hill, some prisoners were quietly diverted. Their destination, the Mamertine prison. Carved into the rock beneath Rome, it had 2 levels. The lower chamber, accessible only through a hole in the ceiling, was where notable enemies disappeared. Dark, damp, airless. While crowds celebrated above, Rome's enemies died below. Vercingetorix of Gaul was held for years before being paraded, then executed. Jugurtha of Numidia was lowered into the dungeon and left to starve, losing his mind before death. Execution wasn't always immediate, but mercy was rare. This isn't about individual cruelty. It's about systems. Roman law protected citizens and erased everyone else. Royalty didn't matter once defeat occurred. Public humiliation wasn't accidental, it was strategic. Queens were beaten, displayed, chained, erased. Not because Rome was chaotic, but because Rome was efficient. The Mamertine prison still stands today. You can walk its stone corridors. You can stand where Rome's enemies waited in darkness while the empire celebrated above. And when you do, remember this: Rome didn't just conquer lands, it conquered narratives. It taught the world what happened to those who resisted and made sure everyone saw it. This is what Roman victory looked like. And this is why fear kept the empire standing for centuries. If this changed how you see ancient power, leave a comment. And if you want more stories history tried to bury, you know where to find us. This has been Hidden Secret Tales, and we're just getting started.